Hi, I'm Michelle Chalfant, psychotherapist, holistic life coach, and human just like you, learning to navigate life's challenges. With over 25 years experience, I teach people how to get healthy using the adult chair model. The adult chair model is where simple psychology meets grounded spirituality, and it teaches us how to become healthy adults. From anxiety and depression to codependency and relationship issues, you can use the adult chair for just about anything. Each week, I share practical tips, tools, and advice from myself and a wide range of experts on how to get unstuck, how to live authentically, and how to truly love yourself, all while sitting in your adult chair. Welcome to the Adult Chair Podcast. Hello, everybody. You can't see me, but I'm dancing over here, unless you're on YouTube, of course. I am so excited to be with you all today. I have some incredible and very, very exciting news for you. And I humbly say this. Today is the day that is the 400th podcast episode. Yeah. Who would have thought that this would have landed on the first week back in January 2024? I'm like, I can't even believe it. Talk about divine time. So what a week this is for us here to celebrate 400 episodes of the Adult Chair podcast. I am like, literally don't even know what to say about it. I'm like, I can't believe it. And on top of that, we are approaching 10 million downloads of this show. I'm not even a stat kind of person. I don't look at statistics. And the guy that does my show, he said to me, do you know you're about to hit 10 million? I was like, what? I couldn't even believe it. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me. In 2020, we were at 2 million downloads. So boy, I just want to say thank you to all of you. This is huge gratitude for you all hanging with me in the adult chair, really working on your stuff, applying what we talk about here, and dedicating yourself to really self-work, to doing your work, and of course, sharing the show. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. So happy for today. Okay. Speaking of 2024, this is, they always talk about new year, new you, all that kind of thing. I love to really, it's like clean slating. 2023 is behind us. So what do you want to go down in 2024? That is the question. And I'm here to tell you right now, and I mean it, what you want, you can create. Yeah. So today's show is all about the art of manifesting, because it truly is an art. And we're going to jump right into the show today. This is something that I have worked with and studied and actually taught courses in. Gosh, I learned this probably 30 years ago, the first initial concepts of this, and have been really playing around with the law of attraction and manifesting for many, many years. Again, 30 years. So I got a lot to say about this. So today I'm going to go over with you how to manifest and why things don't manifest in your reality. Like what gets in the way. I've got a process for you to remove blocks that prevent you from manifesting what you want. And also, I've got additional tips that will help you to bring in your creation. So get ready, buckle in. I would advise you to go get a pen and paper. There's a lot going on today. So I'm going to give you a lot of really valuable things that you can use to bring in the 2024, and I don't say this lightly, of your dreams. I truly mean it. So let's do this. Here we go. All right. So today we're talking about the art of manifesting. So manifesting and the term thoughts create, and the term, of course, you probably have heard of the law of attraction. It gets thrown around a lot. And I love to hear people say to me when they say things like, oh, I've tried that and it just doesn't work for me. It makes me laugh because it's kind of like saying, so you've tried gravity? Does that work for you? Because the law of attraction is the law of attraction. It's no different than the law of gravity. It doesn't turn itself off and on. We are beings that are able to create, and we do create our reality with every thought we have. So It's not that you're not creating it. It's that perhaps there are things that are in the way that are blocking your creation, which we're going to get to. So this law, of course, is always on. The problem is why people don't create. What gets in the way is what's in the subconscious mind. So when we throw out a creation like, I want to manifest $5,000, let's just say, and if it doesn't manifest, what I am always curious about is what's going on in the subconscious mind that's blocking that thought or that creation. Because our subconscious mind, think of it like an iceberg. The iceberg is above the water, right? The ice, or you always see like in the ocean, the tip of the iceberg is just above the water. Below the ocean is this massive, massive iceberg. That's like your subconscious mind. What's underneath our conscious mind, the things that we don't know, that we're not aware of, those things, those beliefs, those thoughts are creating all the time. And they're really powerful. So when we say something with our conscious mind, like, I want $5,000 or I'm making $5,000, whatever it might be. If you have the opposite thoughts in the subconscious mind, like you're a loser, you're not going to amount to anything, making money is hard, you have to work hard for your money, all those kinds of beliefs, it will negate your conscious thought. And it will keep you, what people would say, I'm stuck, I can't create. You can. And this is why today I'm going to take you through a process that helps you to unblock these beliefs that might be the opposite of what you want to create. So the thoughts in the subconscious are always creating. Okay. So what we're going to want to do today is I'm going to help you to become aware of them. So let's talk about how we change all of this. How do you truly, truly manifest your reality and bring in the reality, hear this word, that you choose? Okay. Instead of living by what I call our default reality, which is our default reality is a reality that's created by some of our conscious thoughts, but mostly from our subconscious thoughts. It's just subconscious thoughts like, I'm not good enough. I'm unlovable. Things like that are beaming out into our reality every single moment of the day. And that's what's creating our reality. So the more we can get in touch with those thoughts, those beliefs that are in the subconscious mind, guess what? The more we can create what we really want instead of a default creation. So here we go. Again, pen and paper necessary. So let's start here. What do you want? What do you want in your life? What do you want more of in your life? What or who, let me say, do you want to attract or create? And I want to say it like this. If you could have anything in the world that you want, what would it be? And what I'm asking this question, I want you to get really, really clear about this question because we really talk freely and easily about what we don't want. I find that people will, even my own friends and family, we can talk all day long about what we don't want. That's easy for us. It just comes off our tongue like easy. But what I have found over all these years of seeing clients, even working with my coaches, is that when I ask them these questions, there's an interesting response that comes up. I find that sometimes when I ask people this question, say, really tell me, what do you want? They get small. They might feel guilt or shame, or they feel unworthy or even embarrassed in stating out loud their desires. And then I'd say something like, well, I'd like a new home. Let's just say, for example. And if I ask, well, what's that new home like? Give me some details. Is it big? Is it small, medium? Is it on the ocean? Is it on a lake? Is it in the woods? Is it in a neighborhood, or where the heck is it? Oftentimes, and I'm going to say more often than not, I get a response that's something like, well, yeah, I'd like something nice, but I don't need it to be too big. I don't need too much. And I'm like, well, why? Why? If you want to go bigger, go big. I certainly don't care. It's just a house or it's just a whatever. And a lot of times people's responses are, well, if I have a house that's too big, it would be it would mean that I'm greedy, that I'm snobby. People might judge me. It would feel overwhelming. Some people say it's against my religion. So it's like so many things are in our subconscious mind again. And some of these thoughts are conscious that are in direct conflict with what we actually want. Okay. And let me ask you this. What would you say if I said, would you want to win the lottery? Guess what? It's at $5 million this weekend. Are you going to go buy a ticket to the gas station? Would you want to win the lottery? Of course, most people say, yeah, of course. Sure. And I ask you this, would you really want to win the lottery? Like, take it a step further. What would you do with all that money? What would you do with all that attention? Think about it. How would it make you feel? Because again, people think that they want these things, but when you have the thoughts that are opposite, they're going to bounce up inside of you and say, no, you don't. Stay small. No, you don't. You're not going to want to do that. That's not going to feel good. I remember, in fact, working with she was a single mom when I had a client back in Nashville. She was a single mom. She was working her butt off and she'd started her own business. She had two kids and an ex-husband that was kind of a deadbeat dad. Like, he didn't really see the kids, he didn't pay her alimony, and he rarely paid child support. So she was on an extremely tight budget. And she spoke a lot about how hard it was to make ends meet. And she would say to me, I just wish I had a little bit more money. It would make my life so much easier if I could just get that child support, but her husband wouldn't pay it. So it was really hard on her. And I said to her, hey, how much money do you want to make annually? What would be that number that you want? And she said, well, she said, I make 60,000 now. And she said, 80,000 would make such a huge difference. I said, okay, okay. I said to her, think about that number for a moment. I said, what if you set a goal of 120,000 or even 125,000? And her response was very typical. She said, well, I don't need to make that much money. And I said to her, well, why not? She says, well, it's a lot of money. I really only need 80 to like maybe 85. And I said to her, I said, is it a lot of money or is it just a perspective? Because let me ask you this. I said, there's a millionaire that was sitting next to you and I asked them, hey, what's $120,000 or $125,000? What would they say? They would say something like, that's nothing. That's not a lot of money. And she said, you know what? You're right. She said, for some reason, it feels like it's too much. So again, I can't think of anybody if I ask, hey, do you want to win a lottery ticket or do you want to win the lottery? They go, oh, yeah, of course. Who wouldn't? But when you really get into that thought and try it on, like take that energy of that thought of the idea of winning the lottery and making, let's say, millions of dollars. Truly, how would it make you feel? It's really interesting if you think about the lottery. They say 97% of the people that win the lottery, 97% that win millions and millions and millions of dollars within 3 years go back to the lifestyle and the income level that they had before they won the lottery. How about that? It's because their vibration, their energy, which means their thoughts and their beliefs around money, never changed. So they couldn't hold the energy of money, of an abundance of money, of millions of dollars, because their beliefs were saying, I'm only worth X, and it wasn't millions and millions. So they end up losing it all. They've done studies on this. It's fascinating. But if you understand how money is, or excuse me, how energy is, and the energy of money is, then you understand that, yeah, it makes perfect sense. If your beliefs don't line up with your creation, you cannot manifest it. You can't manifest it and hold it for sure. You can't manifest it. So I said to my client, I said, it's interesting. Do you hear yourself? You've got limiting beliefs clearly around money, and they're limiting you. They're limiting your ease in your family and your potential. And she said, you're absolutely right. I didn't even know it. until right now. And I remember her look, the look on her face, she was totally surprised. And she looked at me, she goes, I can't believe I'm saying that. I don't want 120,000 or 100,000. I said, yeah, is that interesting? She goes, it just feels overwhelming to me. She says, it feels like it's too much and I just shouldn't have that much. She goes, even though it would make my life so much easier. She says, it feels like it's too much. And she said to me, well, how do I change this? And I said, let's do it. I said, of course, I can teach you how to do it. So this is the process I'm going to take you guys through right now. So this is the one you're going to want to grab a piece of paper and a pen. And I'm going to go through these 10 questions that I asked her. And I'm going to also give you her response because it'll be helpful for you when it comes to your response. So let's do this right now. So again, come up with, oh, and wait, I want to say this too. If you think about your desire or the thing that you want to create, right? That's where we're going to begin here. If you don't have guilt or tightness or overwhelm or an uncomfortableness in your body, you don't need this process. This process I'm walking you through right now is how you remove blocks to manifest your reality. This is honestly the missing piece. If you guys have watched the movie The Secret or read the book The Secret and all these things, I don't believe anyone in that movie actually talks about the blocks. Even Abraham Hicks out there, like, there are blocks that every human has. This, in my opinion, is the missing piece to manifesting your reality. So here we go, the process. 10 questions you're going to ask yourself. So we start again. Imagine what you want or having or obtaining the thing that you desire. Okay. What is that one thing? We're going to do one thing at a time here. So pick one thing that you want to create, one thing you want in your life, whatever it is, write it down. Then you're going to imagine having it as if you obtained it. You're drawing it to yourself. It could be anything. It could be money. It could be the new relationship. It could be a new home. It could be travel. It doesn't matter. Sky is the limit. It doesn't matter to me. Pick something. So you have your want or your desire, and then you imagine it. Okay. That's the first thing you do. So my client, remember, was like, yeah, 100 to 120, excuse me, 100 to 225,000. So she went there. And then I said, okay, next, number 2, how does it make you feel in your body? And she said, my stomach's in knots. I feel nauseous. My heart is racing. So what I'm inviting you guys to do is to really do this body scan, which means you go head to toe very gently through your whole body. You're going to ask yourself, how do I feel physically? What's coming up? Notice your throat. Maybe your legs are tight. Maybe your stomach's tight. Maybe your heart gets tight. Whatever it is, notice the constriction in your body. Okay. There's a lot of information in that constriction. It's an energy blockage, is what it is. Then you go, number 3, to the energy blockage. And you are going to take your awareness, you're dropping your awareness to that blockage. And you're going to ask that part of you, what is your purpose? And you get quiet and you wait for a response from the part, not your head. It's going to come from that part. So you close your eyes and you ask that part, what's your purpose? When I asked my client to do this, she came back right away and she said, this part said to her, it's to keep me safe from judgment. I said, oh, isn't that interesting? I said, okay, thank it. So then you thank that part because its intention is good. It's got a divine purpose. It's like trying to keep her safe. So it's good. Whatever it's doing, it's a good thing. Question 4, ask how old that part thinks you are. Ask how old that part thinks that you are. So if it's in your throat, you're going to just bring your awareness to your throat and say, how old do you think I am? So when my client asked this question, and again, you're going to go with the first thought that comes to you. She came back and said, oh my gosh, it thinks I'm 8 years old. This part thinks I'm 8 years old. I said, oh, is that interesting? And she was totally stunned. She goes, why would it think I'm 8? I said, because it doesn't know who you are today. It doesn't know the adult you. It doesn't know who you are. It thinks you're stuck in time and you're 8. She was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And I said, yeah. I said, it's trying its best to keep you safe. and be away from judgment, right? So it's just trying to keep you small. And by the way, it doesn't help her. The woman that she is today wasn't helping her at all. So I said, okay, here's number 5. And this is what you all do as well. Let that part know your current age. So she went in and said, hey, I'm actually 45. I'm not 8. And then you pause again and you wait. What happens is when you're talking to the part is an energy block. So think of a big blob of energy that's just stuck. It's not moving. Energy is always in motion. So it's not that it's 100% stuck. It's just sort of like moving extremely, extremely slow. We want to get it to move fast, like a river. When we ask these questions, it starts to loosen and get it moving again. So the part was shocked when she said that. So question 6 is, I said, let that part know what's true for you today. And let it know that if you had the $125,000 a year or more, how your life would change for the better. And maybe it's not for the better for you. Like if you just want to manifest a car, let's say, it's just be fun and be great. So you have to educate that part that's blocked. So she went in and did just that. She went in and said, if I had this money, then I wouldn't have to work every single weekend. I could spend more time with my children. And she went on and on and on. And that's what's true. It would bring me ease in my life. I could relax a little bit more. The next question, number 7, is she said, and she went on and on with her creation. I'm 45 and I have 2 amazing kids. I just bought a home. I have a full-time job. The money would make my life easier. Okay. So you're adding to what's true. Just expand it out even more in number 7. Talk about your life even more. Talk about your family. Talk about who you are today. So if you want, let's say, a new car, you could say, I love driving cars. It makes me feel so good. Talk a little bit in number 7 about what it will make you feel when you have created this thing, right? Then I said to her, hey, I have a question. I said, how would it make you feel to have this creation, this 125,000? She said it'd make me feel proud. Okay. So 7 is adding the feeling part to this. So how would it make you feel to have this much money or to have this new thing, this new relationship, whatever? And she said it would make me feel proud. I said, perfect. I said, here's number 8. I said, let's go into this a little bit more. What does proud feel like? Now, your eyes are still closed. What does proud feel like? And she said, wow. She says, as I sit and feel the energy of being proud, my whole body opens. I see yellow light running through my body all around me. And she says, and then there's a little pink light that's coming out of my heart. I said, perfect. Feel that. Feel the energy of the yellow and pink light. She did that. So again, 8 is you're coming up with what that feeling was in 7, and then you're feeling it in the body in 8. Number 9, after you sit and feel this, and this is a great thing to do, like if you have a journal, write all these questions down. You close your eyes after you ask yourself the question, go into your body, and then come out of it. You can write it down and then go to the next question, close your eyes, and then write it down, etc. Number 9, I said, check in with the block again. So the original block now, you're going to go back and you're going to say, okay, what the heck was I feeling to begin with? Is it even still there? Okay. For my client, she said, I cannot locate it anymore. All that she could see was yellow light and pink, and her body was so expanded, she wasn't contracted at all. So I said to her, so the part that was keeping you safe from judgment is gone? She said, is absolutely gone. I said, perfect. Then we go to number 10, which is homework. I asked her as homework to daily tune into the new proud energy, the yellow and pink. And I also asked her now to tune into making $125,000 a year. And she said, oh my God, Michelle, it feels so easy. Like this is no big deal. I actually feel really open and expanded. There it is. So that block was removed. This is the missing piece to creating and manifesting your reality. But there are some more steps. So hang tight. I've got a few more for you. But this is the key. You've got to remove what's in the way. There was no way that she was having such a hard time going from 60 to 80, let alone 100. But even going to 80, that part of her is trying to keep her small and safe and free from judgment. And it's interesting because later on, when I was talking to her after we did this process, I said, I'm curious, did anyone judge you while you were growing up, or your mom or your dad? And she says, oh, yeah. She says, my grandparents were really, really, really hard on my mom, and they judged her for everything. I said, isn't that interesting? Because as little kids, we pick up on all this stuff as sponges. We don't have discernment. So we pick up on everything and it creates our new reality. That's what happens. So, and again, you don't even need to know where it's coming from, but when you start exploring it, it's interesting. You typically can find where it came from, but you don't have to. So, not necessary. So once you clear your unconscious blocks, then you can attract in your creation. But here's the thing. This is another really important step. You've got to have alignment with your creation. So what does that mean? Alignment means this. If I want to listen, let's say, to classic rock on my radio station, and classic rock is beaming out of radio station 98.5. However, my thoughts are at 100.1. I'm not aligning with 98.5. So I'm going to hear country when I want to hear classic rock, let's say. So if I want to hear classic rock, I've got to attune myself, tune my radio dial to 98.5. It's no different. It's a frequency on the radio. And you, my friends, have to line up with your frequency of what you are creating. And here's exactly how we do that. So again, think of the thing that you want to create, and then you've got to line up with it. So again, if you want to create a relationship, a car, a house, travel, money, a new career, whatever the heck it is, it doesn't matter. You've got to then line up energetically with it. Here's how we do it. Number one, your mindset. Your mindset matters a lot. Most people give up the thing that they're creating, the thing that they're manifesting, when it doesn't manifest in a few days. They go, this doesn't work. This law of attraction doesn't work. It does work, but remember, it takes a bit of time. And the more aligned we are, and the more we stay aligned with the thing that we want to create, the faster it can create and manifest in our reality. So the more that our mindset is lined up with that thing that we're creating, the faster it comes. Okay. We have to have what I call a consistent manifesting mindset. And this is where now our conscious mind comes in. So in the beginning, we talked about the subconscious mind. Now we're talking about the conscious mind. So let me talk about what exactly this means to have a consistent manifesting mindset. Number one, we want to let nothing or no one get in the way of the energy that's coming towards you, or example, your creation. So for example, if I want a black BMW X5, let's just say that I want to create that car. What happens is you've got to have it in your mind that that's the car that you want, and nothing can get in the way of that. For example, you can't say I want a black BMW X5, whatever other model that goes with it, with these tires and and a white interior, blah, 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 blah. And then have that thought. And then 10 minutes later go, yeah, but I can never afford that. That's not going to happen. Or, I don't want to do that. Blah, blah, blah. You can't do that because it really won't create. You've got to consistently line up with that thing. You launch the creation and you line up with it just like on the radio. And you have to wait then for it to come in. So here's what happens. There's a delicate time. And if your mindset is not, so let me say this again. Let me say it another way. Hold on a second. Your creation is yours. And in the beginning, it's delicate. Okay. So what I mean by that is as you launch it in the beginning, you can't be wobbly. And there's a chance it could be wobbly. And it gets wobbly when other people give you their opinions on your creation, right? So if your mindset's not really, 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 really strong, other people can sway your mindset. So what I typically say is don't tell anybody about your creation unless you know for sure they can create with you and help you to align or align with you in your creation. So let me give you an example. If I were to tell someone, I'm going to get this BMW, this X5, it's black, it's got a white interior. I'm so excited. I'm launching that. What are your friends or family going to say? If they say to you, oh, that's a rich person's car. Why would you want that car? Or that's what wealthy people drive. Why would you want that car? And you're going to be snobby. What are you doing? Do you think you're better than us? Who do you think you are? If you get that kind of feedback, you don't tell those people because not everybody can handle this. Because guess what? They have their own blocks around wealth, around maybe it is that car, around people driving nice car. Everybody's then going to project all of their fears all over you. So you don't tell people what your creation is. You just don't do it. This happened actually with me. So this year, I decided at the beginning of the year, I've been feeling this book. I've been actually started this book numerous times, the next adult chair book. I've written it, I've started it probably since 2020. I've been writing it off and on. And I said, okay, this is the year I'm getting really, really serious. And I'm going to put out a new book, a really big book with all kinds of adult chair examples and all the examples, kind of like I'm giving you right now. It's going to be like an adult chair manual for people to read. I decided this at the beginning of the year. And I said, this time, unlike the first book that's out right now, which is self published, right? I'm going to get an agent and a publisher. Well, guess what? When I started telling, I just told a few people this. Some people couldn't align with my creation. And I got to tell you, this book is like inside of me and it is coming through me. So I feel like I'm birthing a baby. It's like so ready to come out. So, but when I started sharing this in the beginning of the year with some people, they said, wow, are you sure that now is the best time? I mean, you're already so busy. How are you going to fit writing a book in? And do you know how hard it is to get picked up by an agent, let alone a publisher? I mean, that's a really big undertaking. Are you sure that you want to do this? Blah, 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 right? So what happened was my excitement for bringing the book in, and you guys know what I mean when you're excited about a creation. It's like my energy field was so big, like a big helium balloon, right? Every time, so think about this big helium balloon all around you when you're launching your creation. And every time somebody puts a negative comment, it's like they're poking a hole with a little pin in your creation. And it doesn't immediately deflate, but is the moment you have doubts or you go, oh, wait, is it the best time? Boom, there it goes. Your creation is starting to deflate. So I want to keep my creation big and I want to stay aligned with it. So if somebody couldn't support me in this book, I didn't tell them. I did not tell them. I didn't want any negative energy. And I do this all the time when I'm creating. I'll say, I don't want to tell anybody because I don't want anybody to disrupt or get in the way of what I am creating. So until I know that there's momentum and there's evidence that that thing is already coming in, I usually don't say anything to anybody. So anyway, because I don't want anyone's energy in the way of what I'm creating. So think about that with you. As excited as you are, find one person that can support you. If they can't, don't tell them. So let's go on to, let's see. Oh, let me finish my story, by the way, to end the story, because I stayed aligned and I held on to my vision. Guess what? I got a wonderful agent. It was introduced to me by someone, this agent. This agent then found me and put my book proposal in front of numerous publishing houses. And guess what? I had two publishing houses that were interested in the end. And I ended up going with the one that was so aligned. And they were both aligned with my mission. I loved them both. And people were like, you got two offers? I said, yeah, I did. Because guess what? I thought to myself, I didn't tell anybody about what I was doing. So anyway, I have a beautiful relationship, not just with an agent now, but also with my publisher. So there we go. Um, Let me go to the next one, which is number 2 is you need to celebrate and get excited and look forward to the arrival of the very thing that you're creating. So it's as if someone's coming to visit you. So think about when you launch your creation out, again, whatever it might be, think about it like your best friend that you love so much is coming your way. They're coming for a visit. How would you feel? How would you Prepare. Would you be excited? Yeah. What are you going to do about it when they come? Are you going to clean your house? Are you going to go out and buy food? Like think about what you do to prepare when your best friend is coming for a visit and more importantly, the enthusiasm that you have around it. That's how you want to feel about what you're creating. Okay. I'd said to a one of my coaches the other day, I was talking to her and she said, I'm ready to go full time as a coach, but I also still have another full time job and I want to transition. I said, awesome. When are you going to retire from your current position? And he looked at me like, what? I said, when are you going to retire? I said, do you have a date? And she said, well, no. And I said, well, it's not just going to happen. I said, let's come up with a date that you're going to retire and shift into full time coaching. She goes, oh, okay. And she came up with a date. I said, awesome. Sounds good. I said, let me tell you something. If people can't support you in this, don't tell them, but start getting excited because the end of your current position is coming and you get to do what you absolutely love on this date. She goes, oh my God, it's such a great way of thinking about it. I said, do it. This is how you want to feel and act around what's coming in. Don't doubt it. What happens is when people say, well, it's been 2 weeks and I have not seen any evidence. Give it more time. You can't let up. And the ego is going to come in and go, this isn't going to happen. This isn't for me. I must be doing something wrong. I don't deserve it. All those things. If that comes up, then do the 10-step process above. Okay. You've got to do that 10-step process to clear out the beliefs. It's okay. To clear out the blocks. If you have blocks, it's okay. You got to clear them. Okay. Another thing I did to give you an example, when I lived in Nashville, I really wanted to move back to Charlotte, North Carolina, to live closer to my family. But I just didn't want to live closer to my family. I had a few things that I wanted to create. I wanted to live on the lake because I'm a water girl, but I also love trees. And I said, I want to have trees and I want to live really, really close to my family. The other thing that I wanted was I wanted to have, because something I do every day is I do walking and hiking. So I said, I really would like to have a walking or hiking trail that is very, very close to my home, that's near water and trees, because I had that in Nashville. I used to walk this river every single day and it was through the trees. It was gorgeous. I said, I want that in Charlotte. So I actually would think about it every single day that I was walking in Nashville. And what do you know? What do you know? Within a few months, my brother-in-law calls me, my sister's husband, and says, you're not going to believe it. The house next door is going on the market. I was like, what? And guess what? This is the house I'm in right now. I live next door to my sister. I live on the lake. I have trees in my yard. And by the way, I have a walking path. I don't have to get in the car and drive. I literally can walk to the end of my street, which is like 10 houses down, and I'm on the most gorgeous path through the woods that is all along the water. How's that for creation? It's not because I'm special. It's not because, I was blessed or anything like that. I created it. It's what I wanted. I put it out there. I saw it and I intended for it. And I did not let anything or anybody get in the way of what I wanted. And I got it. So anybody can do this. Anybody. Okay, moving on. The other thing that we can do is we live as if it's already here. You speak in this way, you act in this way. I remember, this is so funny. I had a client years ago. She really wanted a boyfriend. And I said, are you sure? She says, of course I'm sure. I said, well, what's he like? So I took a whole list of things, all of his qualities. And I said, okay, I want you to start acting as if he's already here. So I want you to I said, when are you going to see him? And we really dialogued about it. She said, I want to come home from work and he'll be waiting for me at home because he works from home, but I don't work from home. So he'll be home and he'll be waiting for me and we'll have dinner together and we hang out every night and we watch movies and we talk and da, da, da. Okay, great. So I said, I want you to act as if you already have this boyfriend and he is going to be at your house every single day when you get home. So she did this for a few weeks and then she came in. This is so funny. And I said, hey, how's your boyfriend? I'm acting as if she already has a boyfriend, right? And we would say that in every weekly session. I said, how's your boyfriend? He's great. He's great. Like a month in, she goes, I said, how's whatever his name was, Ted, or we even had a name for him. She goes, okay, it's been a month and he's really starting to annoy me. This is her boyfriend that she's manifesting. I said, what's going on? And she said, he's there all the time. She says, I don't want him to be at my house all the time. He's always at my apartment. I said, well, maybe you should have a talk with him and maybe you should lessen the number of days that he's over at your house. And she says, yeah, I'll do that tonight. So she would actually go home and talk to him as if he was on her couch just for a few minutes every night. But she had to then send him home so she could have a little bit of a break from him because he was over too much and she wasn't used to it. So funny. And what do you know? Guess what happened? Yes, indeed. She started dating different guys and she actually manifested that exact situation. She had this guy, he worked from home and he would come over, all the things. So it was such a beautiful creation. Everything is possible. I got to tell you this, everything and anything. You just have to line up with it. The last thing I want to say is be patient. Do not give up. Again, we are working through beliefs that are known and unknown within us. But the more you focus and expect and live as if this creation is coming in and already here, faster it will come to you. So keep it up. You can do this. People that create really well doing these exact things. So let me summarize these steps for you. What do you want is number one. Get clear on it. Write it down. You've got to look at your creation every day. What do you want? Write it down. Put it on a post-it note. Put it on an index card. Put it on your mirror. Put it on your nightstand. Put it in your car so you see it. Oh, yes, I'm creating X. Number two, notice if there's any blocks or barriers in your body. And if so, you got to work on them. Number three, examine your mindset. What are your thoughts around your creation? Do they need to be adjusted or cleaned up? What the heck's going on within you? You've got to stay on that radio station. Remember, you've got to have your dial adjusted so you're fully aligned with what's coming in for you. Number four, celebrate the arrival of your creation. It's coming. You've got to get excited. Know that it's manifesting. The more you can align, the faster it will come. Number five, act as if. Spend 5 to 10 minutes a day imagining that your creation has arrived. How do you feel? Spend the rest of your day acting as if it is already here. Okay. Spending the 5 to minutes, 10 minutes a day. I love doing this. Like I'll go into a meditation in the morning. At the end of that, right now, what I'm really manifesting is a beach house. So I can actually see myself. I walk into the beach house. I'm putting my bags down. I walk through the doors, all the glass doors. I look out over the ocean. I actually could have an architect design this thing. It's so clear in my head. That's what I'm creating. And more importantly, again, I'm feeling like, what does it feel like? And I've actually started saying to my family and my husband, I'm like, hey guys, I'm going down to the beach house this coming weekend. So I might not be around for the next week or so because I'm going down there to write. And they laugh. They're like, okay. I'm like, I'm creating this. They're like, we know you are. So as far as I'm concerned, my beach house is down there and it's coming. I am lining up with it. Last thing again, be patient. You've got to give yourself time. Don't give up on this because I promise you, you can get and create the life that you want. Your thoughts and your spoken words are powerful. So be really mindful of what you're saying. What are you thinking? Correct it. That's where consciousness comes in. Like, hold on, what did I just say? No way. No way. That's in direct opposition of what I'm creating. We are creating 247 with our conscious and our subconscious mind. We are magnetic beings. It means I'm a magnet for what I'm creating. Like attracts like. So whatever's inside of us, what I'm thinking and imagining is going to come to me. We're always in creation mode. It does not turn itself on and off. It's just like gravity, remember? So if you don't like your reality, you do have the power to change it with your thoughts and with what you're speaking, and also with discovering and uncovering these limiting beliefs, which are creating these blocks inside of you. Use that 10-step process. This is one, this manifestation process is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. You really can create the life of your dreams. Dream it and you can manifest it. And now you have the steps to do just that. Mm. Okay, you guys, I'm clapping. I'm clapping because your creation is on its way. There you go. Thank you so much for joining me for episode number 400. 400th episode. Hello. 400 more to go. Thanks so much for being such dedicated listeners of this show and practicing every single day, living in your adult chair. I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you next week, seated right here in the adult chair.